There we go. Okay, I think we're live now. Set things up everywhere else. If anyone's in here, let me know what you think of the audio. Hopefully it's good. I've got a mic now, or I set up a mic, so it should be better. What do we got? We got 55 minutes until kick. I'm going to get us up on TikTok, too. Kind of scrambling this morning, so we'll go through some injury stuff. We'll go through some of the best starts this week. I know it's our last week of the regular season. Some of you may be in, you may be out. I gotta win some. I gotta win some of my matchups here this week. All right, TikTok. All right. Good to go now there. Okay. Let me. Okay, let's get into everything on the slate here. Let me pull this stuff up. Forgot that this computer wouldn't even have the password here. All right. Let me do one quick thing. I'll be right back. Okay. Let me also check that. What's going on, guys? Okay. I just got to get the TV set up for me. Makes my life easier. Okay. Who has a week they need to win? I have one of my teams is not looking great, but some people need to score some serious points more than me. Just hopping into teaser of the day: Chiefs, Ravens, Titans. I've seen a lot of. Hello, Avery. I've seen a lot of Seahawks. Seahawks Titans seems to be a popular one, and the Broncos too. I'm really surprised with how much that spread has moved. I know the Lions are dealing with a ton of injuries. You know, you're going a mile high. That's never too easy in the elements or in the elevation. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, perfect. There we are. All right, now we're good. Okay. Let's get one of my other windows open here. Okay. Avery, if you're still in here, let me know if the audio and whatnot's good. I haven't checked that yet. Again, if you're on TikTok, we're live on YouTube right now, so get in there, please. God, we're having some struggles this morning. Computer's just not cooperating. Danny, nobody's here. It's just me. I'm the only one here right now. Nobody's okay, here we go. So yeah, I wanted to see all the players out this week from Schefter. What a follow. What a great follow. So yeah, no Tony Pollard today. That's really interesting. Zeke's gonna finally get that that workload. I mean, the football team's pretty good against the run, but still. I'm definitely. I mean, if you guys are looking on the wire, I mean, you know, if I saw Julio in a couple of my leagues, I would definitely just pick him up and play him. Yeah, the Elijah Mitchell thing. Okay, let's just get into the slate here and go through each game individually. All right. My computer is just fighting the good fight here. If you guys are on TikTok, join the YouTube. Links in our bio to get to our YouTube channel. I can answer any questions there. What's up, Christian? Newton or Carr today? There's no chance in playing Cam Newton. I'll play Derek Carr against the Chiefs for sure. I get the thing with Newton in terms of, hey, what all the stuff he can do on the goal line, but they got to get to the goal line. The offense has been brutal. I don't like the firing of Joe Brady. I don't know what they're going to really do that's going to excite people. I don't know who's stepping in to call plays. Julio or Ayuk. I'm definitely playing Ayuk. Let me just make sure we're all good on the latest on Debo. I haven't seen the latest on Debo. I would assume he's not going to play, but God, my computer is battling this morning. Ayuk or Russell Gage. I'm playing Ayuk. Really tough. It's a tough defense for them to go against this week. Oh yeah, he is going to play. Okay. Debo's going to play. I'm still playing Ayuk because I do think Debo's going to get really involved in the run game. Like I'm not. I think Jeff Wilson is a back you can play this week, but I definitely don't want to be playing hasty. Even when Mitchell went down with the injury for that little short period of time where he was sitting out with a concussion, they still didn't give Hasty any touches. So I wouldn't anticipate that to change, especially now that Debo's going to be back from injury. So nothing to worry about there. Yeah, Debo's active. Just seeing that now. If you guys are in the TikTok, be sure to join on YouTube so I can see your comments. I got terrible eyes. I know there's people rolling in the comments, but I cannot see them. I cannot read them. So join the YouTube. Okay, let's start with Saints Jets. So Alvin Kamara is back today. We're still, Taysom Hill still rocking a quarterback. I know somebody in the comments here, or Christian said in the comments about Cam Newton or Derek Carr. Someone like Cam Newton, I'd play Taysom Hill over Cam Newton. I've got more faith in them being really involved or keeping Taysom really involved running the football. As great of a runner as Cam is in terms of physicality and getting those short distance type runs, he's not someone they're going to traditionally run the ball that's going to scoop up 15, 20-yard big plays. So I'd rather play Taysom than Cam Newton this week because in a game against the Jets, I don't see them putting the ball in the air a ton. Of course, you're going to be playing Kamara, but there's no other players on the Saints that I'd be willing to play today, even in this good of a matchup. I know the Jets are brutal against the pass. I still don't think they're going to put the ball in the air, and I do think the Jets are just going to get throttled in this game. This Saints team is really due for a get-right spot. I think they take care of the Jets pretty handedly. I'd play Jamison Crowder because I do think there's good volume for him with Elijah Moore being out, with Corey Davis being out. I'm starting him in a lot of my leagues that I'm dealing with, like Waddle on bye, Devontae Smith on bye. I'm definitely going to play Jamison Crowder with some confidence. I think the Saints are going to have a good showing, but I think there's going to be plenty of volume for Crowder. Running back wise from the Jets, no thank you. Like Tevin Coleman, please, guys, do whatever you can to not play Tevin Coleman. I'll go through some other players, but I would not play Tevin Coleman. The Saints are very, very good against the run, and the Jets are not able to move things very well up front with their offensive line. So Jets, it's only Jamison Crowder today. That's it. Like I wouldn't go anywhere desperate with Ryan Griffin at tight end, nothing like that. If you guys are on TikTok, be sure to join the YouTube live stream. I'm happy to answer any questions there. Go to the link in our bio, and I'll get to them there. Max, what's up? Odell, Guyton, Julio, and Amari. Who do I sit? You're sitting Guyton. Guyton is not the player on the Chargers to go with. It would probably be Josh Palmer for me. I'm a big Chargers fan, so I kind of have a good feel for this offense. I think they keep Guyton outside in his regular role and then just move Palmer into Keenan's spot, because Palmer doesn't have a lot of speed, but he's not like Keenan. He's relatively close to Keenan, not even that. But his biggest thing from his profile is that he's a pretty good route runner, very physical at the point of the catch, wins there. I play Palmer over Guyton. Guyton can make a big play for sure, but I think Williams is going to get the volume, and maybe Palmer gets some of that volume too. And Guyton's a really desperate play. So, but if anything, I think Jared Cook could have a step up this week because of it, or even the tight ends probably get more involved beyond Jared Cook, like Donald Parham. But don't get too excited about him being out. So Guyton, Julio, Guyton I'd be sitting. I think I'd probably play Julio and Amari. I'm not, like, Odell is still not earning this role where he's the clear two. Van is running tons of routes. Van is getting tons of targets. Van in the last, I think it's 4 weeks, 3 weeks. It's 3 or 4 weeks. I posted this on our Twitter, but he's third in red zone targets and third in end zone targets. So Odell is not the clear two in the offense. So I'd play Julio and Amari there. Kareem Hunt, Joe Mixon, Saquon, and Sony. Start 3. I'd probably I'm starting Joe Mixon. I got to play Joe Mixon, considering what he's done all season long. So I'll play Joe Mixon. I'll sit Saquon. The Chargers have been good against the run the last, I would say, 6 weeks or so. I don't know if people are noticing that. They're bringing themselves out from that clear basement they were in earlier in the season. So I'm going to sit Saquon. I'm probably going to play Joe Mixon and Sony Michel. I like Kareem Hunt, though, this week, but I think I'd go Mixon and Sony. Stafford and Mahomes. I'm never sitting Mahomes. I'm not doing that. Okay, Falcons, Panthers. I said earlier that I think that this is a really good pass D from the Panthers. So Jared doesn't really like Kyle Pitts this week. I kind of tend to agree, but I do think Pitts is someone that you got to play at tight end, because he's one of those guys that just always gets volume. So, Russell Gage coming off the huge targets, I'd probably still try to keep him on my bench if I can, just with how good this Panthers pass D is. They're just not giving up a lot of yards, a lot of fantasy points to the position. I think this will be an ugly game. So I'd like to sit Matt Ryan, sit Russell Gage, and play Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson, because those are kind of probably mainstays in a lot of your lineups. Panthers side of things, Chuba Hubbard's definitely, I think, a good play. I know Abdullah is getting involved in the pass game, so if you're really desperate in the flex or at running back, you could play Abdullah this week against the Falcons. DJ Moore, we're of course going to be trotting out there, not with a ton of confidence, but you can still do it. Beyond that, your Robbie Andersons, I would be keeping on the bench. Cam Newton, I don't like Cam Newton as a play. I know that we talk about the fact that this is a guy who's a goal line beast who can score touchdowns. They got to get there for him to do that. The guy has a fucking noodle arm. He can't throw. He has to put his entire body behind like a 7-yard out. His entire fucking body. Again, on TikTok, if you're on TikTok, join the YouTube live. Happy to read any comments there, but I cannot read them right now. The camera is too far away from me. And then if you're on the YouTube, come on, drop a like. Give me a like, please. Would really, really appreciate that. Next game, Raiders, Chiefs. I'm just going through what I have here on PFF in terms of the order they have these games. The Raiders, Hunter Renfrow is an absolute must start, need to include in your lineups today. Like he gets too much volume and especially now with Waller being out again this week, you've got to play Renfrow. Honestly, we had a video on the channel that Edwards would be. I said Edwards would be the guy that would break out with this absence of Ruggs, but it's really been Renfrow. I missed that. It was the right team, but it was the wrong player. Renfrow, great volume, just a huge target for him. So Renfrow, you got to play. Edwards is a okay desperation play. Like in some of my leagues, I'm in a really bad spot, and I've been have an option of like Edwards and Peoples-Jones, who I think are two like splash plays that can hit big or really crash. I'm going to go Edwards with those two, but yeah, he's a decent desperation play at the position. Otherwise, with the Raiders, Josh Jacobs is going to be someone you're firing up for sure. Kenyon Drake now being out definitely helps him. Rashard will get a little involved in the pass game, but Jacobs had a nice uptick in his receiving yards and receptions the last few weeks, so that's good to see. I think he's going to have a good finish the rest of the way. So I'd be definitely firing up Jacobs. And Derek Carr, I think, is probably a front-end QB2 this week is how I kind of see him. Chiefs side of things. There's really never too much to talk about when it comes to the Chiefs. We're going to play Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We're going to play Mahomes. We're going to play Kelsey. We're going to play Tyreek Hill. I don't really give – we've talked about this for a couple seasons now of the opportunity of one of these guys stepping in and being like a wide receiver 3 this year. McCole Hardman hasn't really done it. None of the other guys have. Darrell Williams, yeah, you're excited about some of the receiving work. I wouldn't be willing to do it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a great pass catcher. Somebody's got James, what's up? You've got Ayuk, Cooks, or Van Jefferson. You need one, Ayuk for sure. Debo's going to be really involved in the run game today. We're going to see similar stuff that we've seen from the past few weeks. I can't see otherwise. All right. Let's move to Cowboys and the football team. Again, if you're in TikTok, join the YouTube live. I can't read any of your comments here on TikTok. Phone's just too far away from me. So join the YouTube live. Happy to answer any comments in there. McBride, choose one. Aaron Jones, DJ Moore, Josh Jacobs, or AJ Dillon. That's a good question. I'm probably going Josh Jacobs. Yeah, it'd probably be Josh Jacobs. Order of Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, DJ Moore, AJ Dillon. So I'd be going there. Ty Johnson or Jefferson Godwin. I don't know what you mean there. Lepresti. Or do you mean Jamar Jefferson? No, you've got to mean Van Jefferson. But the Godwin thing, I mean, we're going to play Godwin. So I don't know what exactly you mean there. You're talking Godwin Idabuke. Yeah, I'd play Jamar Jefferson in that sense. No. I'd play Ty. God. Let me think here. So Johnson. I played Jamar Jefferson. Because I think in terms of personnel the Lions have today, they're dealing with a lot. I think Dan Campbell's just always been prone now since he's been calling plays to put the ball on the ground. So I'm going to go with Jefferson there. Ty Johnson's he can get some receiving work for sure. But Wilson has just not been checking the ball down a lot. Yeah, Lions RBs. Yeah. I would go Jamar Jefferson. I know the Idabuke thing, everybody's in on the receiving work, but I like Jamar Jefferson. I loved him at Oregon State. He's a good runner. I think he's going to put together a decent performance. Mark, what's going on, man? Need to start 2.5 PPR. Zeke, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. So CD Lamb. I need to win for playoffs. Yes, we're going to make the playoffs. Here, Mark. Okay. Zeke for sure. Tony Pollard out. Zeke's going to get a good workload here. I'm probably going. Damn, I kind of want to play both the Cowboys in this spot. Okay, we're starting CD. Yeah, and we got to start Zeke. I think you got to start them both. Gosh. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. I'm going CD and Zeke. That line's been moving to 6.5 since this morning. It was at like 5.5 or 4.5. There's been a lot of sharp people on the Cowboys, I think, here. So expect the Cowboys to take care of business. So I would go. Yeah, I'm going to go with those two. I think Aaron Jones, though, and Josh Jacobs are pretty good plays, too. But I like those two better. Hubbard or CEH, I would go Clyde. Hubbard is just not going to get the workload we originally saw with him beforehand. So I'm going to go there with Clyde. I like Clyde. He's been playing really well since he's come back from the injury. Okay. We're on Cowboys football team. I think you can fire up anyone from CeeDee Lamb to Dalton Schultz to Michael Gallup, Mari Cooper. The football team's really improved against the pass in recent weeks. I will say that. They've been pretty damn good. So Gallup's definitely more of a desperation play, but he's had good volume too. So it's about how Cooper's I think he's going to be ready to roll here after dealing with a lot of injury stuff or the illness. They just haven't really been giving him a lot of snaps. Football team side of things, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin. I do see a way that, Bates is someone to start. Just, it's the tight end position has constantly been like a position that the football team has been using. Oh no, Ricky Seals-Jones is back. Okay, so then it's going to be Ricky Seals-Jones now that I'm looking at it. So I would be willing to play him if you're picking him up off the wire and needing to start him. If you had a guy like, let's say, Waller, for example, I'm good with that. Jags Titans. Look, Urban Meyer, man, I loved the stuff over the weekend was hilarious. All the issues he's had with his coaching staff. He's basically challenging them in the room, saying that he's a winner and they got to explain to him why they're not losers. Awesome. I love Urban Meyer. It's all time. One thing I think he's going to do is he's going to lose his job, I think, in the offseason. The thing, though, with Khan is that he hasn't really been willing to let go of some of his guys. He did it with Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley had like a horrific record with the Jags before he finally let him go. Same thing with Marone. Marone basically it was almost like he cried his way into an extra year with the team. Guys, I can see questions in the TikTok. Join the YouTube live, and I'll answer any questions in there. So get in there if you're on TikTok. I just can't read your comments. I can't see them. Terrible eyes. Max, you've got Foreman or Jeff Wilson. I'm going Foreman. I want to get into that, but I go Foreman. Wilson will get work. I think he'll be the main back, but Debo, I bet you, has like 12 carries. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's go Titans. I'm going to play Julio. He's been a wide receiver one every year of his career up to this year. We saw what the Titans did when they lost the Patriots. They just ran the ball, even when they were losing the entire game because they just didn't trust any of their pass catchers. I think now that Julio's back and healthy, I think he's obviously going to be the number one target, but I think they'll be willing to put the ball in the air a little bit more and get Julio the ball. So I would definitely play Julio this week. For some of us, if you have Waddle, if you have Smith, if you had Jacoby Myers, Damian Harris in the flex, all these guys that are on bye, I think Julio is a guy you can throw into the flex. The Foreman-Hilliard thing. So they both split carries with Foreman getting more of the – they both split touches. Foreman got more of the carries. Hilliard got involved in the pass game. But McNichols is back, so I'm worried about Hilliard. I still think Foreman will be the main back, and in a game that they'll have being a winning game script, in a game that, like I said, I think they're going to throw the ball more. That doesn't mean they throw the ball a lot because going against the Jags here, I think that this is a big situation for Vrabel where it's like, let's put the ball on the ground. Let's, just get out of here with a win kind of deal. So I think Foreman will be the traditional back, and he'll get a lot of work. The Wilson thing I mentioned, I think he's going to be the main back, but it doesn't mean that he'll be the main guy running the ball. April, that's what I tend to do. I looked at my lineups this morning, but I'll probably make some changes with like 5 minutes to go. Okay, Jacksonville. Like I said about Urban. So Marvin Jones apparently was right pissed and has been going at it with Urban in practice. And he's really the veteran of the team offensively. Like I can't even, other than in the offensive line, there's really no more veteran player on this team other than like Marvin Jones, Carlos Hyde. And Jones apparently left the facility the one day and coaches had to like beg him to come back. So I've tried to be playing him in on OwnersBox. Like I don't have him in any of my season long leagues, but I've been trying to play him on OwnersBox because I just believe he's the number one guy. But him and Urban have it out for each other, so it makes sense. It almost makes sense now that I'm hearing that it's Urban or not Urban. It's Laquan Treadwell that seems to be getting volume. It's probably because Urban fucking hates. He just hates Marvin Jones for some reason and needs to be, the man everybody listen. He treats the guys like they're kids. He still thinks it's college, which I think the team hates, and clearly that's been the problem. So I think he can fire up Treadwell. The James Robinson thing was also just fucking ridiculous. I cannot believe that he's benching him, and then I guess the running backs coach, he was telling him like, no, like Robinson's not coming back in this game. It's hide. His good old Ohio State boy. And then Trevor Lawrence was like, hey, you have to, like, this is the best player on our team. Get him into the game. And then he finally put him back in. So Treadwell, I play Robinson because it looks like Urban listened to Lawrence and was like, okay, I'll get him out there and I'll play him. So I'm starting Lawrence in a couple leagues where, in a league that I had Tannehill to start the year and dropped him and somebody else scooped up Tannehill. But I'd still rather play Lawrence over Tannehill this week. So I'm playing Lawrence in a couple leagues. Happy to do that. Otherwise, on the Jags, I'd play Robinson. I'd play Lawrence. I'd play Treadwell. And if you're really desperate, you can play Marvin Jones. But I honestly would rather play Treadwell this week. Things are falling apart there. It's bad. Trey, what's up? Hollywood or DJ Moore? Hollywood, DJ Moore, Metcalf, or Cooper? I would play Amari Cooper. I would not play Hollywood. Lamar's just struggling to throw the ball. I think they put the ball on the ground a lot this week. The only guy I would trust is Mark Andrews. I don't want to play DJ Moore. I'll play Metcalf and Cooper. That's who I'll play this week. I don't want to play DJ Moore with Cam Newton at QB. He's getting good volume, but okay. Speaking of the Ravens, let's go to the Ravens and Browns. So, like I said, I think Lamar's gonna and the Ravens are gonna put the ball on the ground a lot. Lamar's just been struggling in the air lately, which is just not good for them going against the Browns here on the road. So definitely Devontae Freeman. I've liked the last few weeks. I'm firing him up again. I'm playing Mark Andrews. I'll probably try to play, definitely don't play Rashad Bateman this week. You can play Marquise Brown, but in a situation like Trey here, he's got a lot of good options, so I'd probably sit him. I'd play Higgins over Westbrook Ikene. They're Raperos. So on the Brown side, we'll fire up our Chubbs and our Chubb and Kareem Hunt, our Jarvis Landrys. Look, the Ravens are very good against the run, but they give up some explosive plays, like especially in the pass game, and they actually do tend to give up some explosive plays in the run game once you kind of get through the line of scrimmage in this that second line there through the linebackers. Teams have been able to pick up some big plays. So I think Hunt will be really involved in the pass game, and then I think Chubb can break some big plays, even though it's a tough matchup. Browns side, I said Landry. There should be some volume for him because, again, the Browns can beat the Ravens in the past now, especially with Marlon Humphrey being out. So I expect Landry to have some good volume and a good game. And then Peoples-Jones is a really desperate high upside play. We got a couple more here. Jay Peakley, what's going on? Cooks or Chuba Hubbard at flex? I'd play Hubbard. I just don't have the faith in Cooks right now. Davis Mills stepping in at QB. The Seahawks are actually pretty good in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. Ayuk, Landry, or Allen Robinson, full PPR. Ayuk, for sure. Yeah, I'd play Brandon Ayuk. Again, Debo's going to be a big part of the run game, I think. We could see that pass volume going to Kittle and Ayuk. Okay, what do we got? It's 12:30, so I'm going to let's run through the rest of these pretty quickly. Seahawks, Texans. I don't want to play. I haven't seen the questions in here this week, but I saw a lot last week about Rex Burkhead. David Johnson's now out. I don't want to play Rex Burkhead. Please, no. Let's find some other options. And again, look, you can play Who was I mentioned? Oh, you can play Rex Burkhead if you really desperately need to, but I wouldn't. And then on the Brandon Cook side, you could play him, but there could be some better options, especially if you're in 10-man leagues or in a 12-man where people just aren't playing like really focused right now. So I would just kind of avoid the majority of that team if I can. Judy, Gallup, Julio, pick two. I would probably go Judy and Julio. Judy is clearly the wide receiver one in the offense. We got the Lions, so there should be an opportunity to move the ball today against the Lions team that's dealing with illness, COVID, all that jazz. So I like Judy. I'm looking forward to next year if they make a move on a quarterback. And then Julio, I just think he'll be the top option for Tannehill this week. Okay, Lamar or Aaron Rodgers. God, Aaron really likes to put it on Chicago. I'd probably go back to Lamar though. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I think Lamar maybe has 100 rushing yards today. Jason, what's going on for flex? Do you start James Robinson, Deonta Foreman, or Julio Jones? Good question. I'd go James Robinson. Yeah, it'd be James Robinson, Julio, and then Foreman. Also for QB, Jason, you start Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, or Taysom Hill? Good question. I'm going to go Burrow, actually, because the 49ers are pretty beat up defensively. I saw they had some more injuries come through on the defensive side. I would probably order it, though, Burrow, Taysom, Russ. I don't have a lot of faith in Russ these days. Saquon or Deonta Foreman. I'd probably play Saquon. Yeah. Ayuk or Jeff Wilson. I'll play Ayuk there. You salty. Jamie, what's going on, man? PPR, Javonte or Montgomery? I'm playing Montgomery. Melvin Gordon's going to be back. So that split I think will still be there. And then Montgomery, just fantastic volume from the guy. So good. Such a good volume from him. I really like Montgomery because of that. Okay. Lions, Broncos. We talked about a couple of the guys in here. Look, I don't want to play Jamar Jefferson, but there are probably some situations where you're desperate. Jamar could get like 15 touches, which wouldn't be terrible for you. He's not a great pass catcher. He probably won't be as involved as a pass catcher. TJ Hawkinson, yeah, you can play him if you need to. I'd probably rather play. I forgot to mention this completely, but James O'Shaughnessy is not a bad tight end play. I've been on him for the last couple of weeks. The Jags like to target tight ends. They target them. Tight ends and the Jags have like a 22% target share. So O'Shaughnessy wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't say I'd start O'Shaughnessy over Hawkinson, but there are definitely some tight ends available. Like Jared Cook, I'd probably start over Hawkinson this week. Broncos side, I mentioned Judy. I think you can still play Javonte Williams. I think the upside's capped a little bit because with Gordon, him and Gordon have been splitting all throughout the season. Like Gordon before last week when he was out, had more red zone rush attempts, had more inside the 5 rushing attempts. So he's going to lose. He's going to split some of those really high value touches. So that's just the biggest thing for me. Anything else? Giants. Let's just go to Giants Chargers. So I had a lot of Slayton shares the last few weeks, just picking them up off the wire because they've been so banged up. But Shepard is back. I know it's Mike Glennon at QB, so there's not that same affinity that Jones had. So I'd probably try to sit the majority of my Giants players, with the exception of you're probably going to be playing Saquon. There should be some volume for him. The Chargers are much improved against the run, but it doesn't mean they're a top 10, top 15 team against it. So Saquon could find some holes. Chargers, I've talked about this off the jump, but I do think that Josh Palmer is the better play than Jalen Guyton. I think he steps into Keenan's spot in the offense in terms of running out of the slot. Doesn't mean that he's going to get Keenan Allen numbers, but I think there's a better chance that he has there's a better chance that he has a decent fantasy day, and I think he has a better fantasy day than Jalen Guyton does. Guyton needs to hit the big play, like he'll be on the outside, so Guyton has the opportunity to be the player that you play that is really boom bust, and then Palmer's safer. He's got some good size, good route runner, wins at the point of the catch. He's not there's not speed there. There's not that type of deal where he's going to break a big play, but he's crafty. So I think he steps into Keenan's role. But Mike Williams is someone I'm firing up for sure this week. I didn't like him last week. He had a good week, but this week I'm definitely playing him. And then Herbert, we're going to fire up. Was nice to see. last week. They're so back and forth, the Chargers. Eckler's a good play, of course. A couple more questions here. DK, Chase, Higgins, Clyde, full PPR, pick 2. I'm going to go Chase and Clyde. I'm going to go Chase and Clyde. Okay. Moving to the Niners and the Bengals. Niners-Bengals. So I mentioned about Debo. I don't need to say any more. Debo is now, with him being back, I'm playing him. The Bengals side of things, Higgins has been really good. So we're playing Higgins and Chase. I think Burrow has a good day here. And then Joe Mixon, we're going to, of course, be playing. Then Ayuk, I mentioned. I'm pretty high on Ayuk this week. I think he has a good week. I had him lower. I think I had him 26 in my rankings because I thought Debo was going to be back and then Elijah Mitchell would still play. But now that Elijah Mitchell's out, Debo's probably going to be running the ball a bit more. So I think Ayuk can be a top 20 wide receiver this week. Bills, Bucks. Emanuel Sanders is one of the highest average depth of target players in the league this season. So I think he's worth a desperate play at the position if he's on the wire, because the Bills will be nonstop throwing the ball. They're not going to run the ball. They can't run the ball, and then they're going against the Bucks run defense. So I'm definitely Knox, Diggs, Sanders, and then if you really want to, like Beasley could get decent volume just from the standpoint if he's the guy out of the slot. Bucks side of things, there's really never a lot to talk about with the Bucks. I mean, I don't want to play, Tyler Johnson or Scotty Miller, or anything like that. But of course, Godwin, Evans, Gronk, Brady, and Fournette. Bears, Packers tonight. Look, Valdez-Scantling has had good volume. Cobb is still continued to be out. So I think Valdez-Scantling, because he gets high value targets in terms of the deep ball, but I think as well that there's an opportunity for him to still get those 7-8 targets we've seen the last few weeks. So you can play Valdez-Scantling this week. Bears, it's really just Montgomery and Mooney. I'd rather play a guy like James O'Shaughnessy than Kmet against the Packers this week. Darnell Mooney, it should get some volume from Fields now that Fields is going to be back. Rashad Penny, I think Penny's worth a start. I forgot to mention him completely. That's my bad. Yeah, I think Penny's worth a start. I think he'll be the RB1. And then Pete Carroll loves to run the ball and wants to be running the ball, so I do think that there'll be some volume for him in a game that the Seahawks are probably going to take care of business. That's another game that the line's been moving a fair bit in terms of it was 7 open and now it's at 9.5. So the Sharps are definitely expecting the Seahawks to blow this Texans team out. Okay, then Rams and Cardinals on Monday Night Football. That should be an awesome game. I think the Rams are on the road here, so the Rams really need this win, or else they're gonna be 8-5 to lose this game. The Cardinals hanging on to the top place in the division, with the Packers, of course, being right behind them, and then having that head-to-head win. Okay, Rams. Look, I'm firing Van Jefferson. I'm firing up. Obviously, Sony Michel going to be the lead back. You can play Matt Stafford this week against the Cards. Again, if you're on the TikTok, get into our YouTube live. That's where I'm answering any questions there. So just hit the link in the bio and then get in there from there. Some more questions here. Steven, Deontay Foreman or Peoples-Jones at flex. I play Foreman. Peoples-Jones is a really desperate play. If you really need upside, you're projected, you don't think you're going to win this week, or you're projected to lose this week, then Peoples-Jones has some upside, but I'd go Foreman. Pitts versus Knox at tight end. I'd definitely play Dawson Knox over Kyle Pitts this week. Definitely. Hilliard or Ty Johnson or Edmonds. Yeah, I'd be surprised if Edmonds is back. I guess they do need him. I don't like either one of those guys. I do think, Tyler, that you can find some better options there. If I had to answer for you, I'd say Ty Johnson. Standard scoring. All right, Shades. Standard scoring, Gage or Burkhead? Yeah, I'd play Burkhead just because of the standard scoring. Gage is really, he's almost like Hunter Renfrow. I was looking at his route tree and where his targets are coming from. So he's not running the outside. So we're kind of limited in our upside, and in standard scoring, that's not what you want. You don't really want a guy like Gage. Start 3, Lockett, Javonte, Saquon, Montgomery, Mooney, Mitchell's out. James Robinson. So I go Robinson, Montgomery, and I would go Lockett. No, I would go Saquon. I would go Saquon Robinson and Lockett. I'd probably sit Montgomery in that scenario, actually. Chris Godwin or Mike Williams? Whew, that's a good question. I'd probably go Mike. Yeah, I think Mike's going to be the dominant target for Herbert. All right. Well, that's all the games. That's all the games for the week. I don't even know what I'm betting on, to be honest with you. I kind of like the Browns, but I don't really love the board in terms of the betting market. Yeah. I did say that about the Saints. The Saints might be the one we're going with. Again, if you're in the TikTok, join our YouTube live. I cannot see the comments on the TikTok, so join the YouTube live. I'm answering all the questions there. I want to take a peek at what's going on with the betting market because I got to get some bets in. Any more questions? Start, sit. Happy to answer. I'm going to hop off in 4 minutes, 12:50. We'll get off, and then I got to go home to watch these games. I'm at the office right now. Hooper or Seals Jones? Yeah, I'd play Ricky Seals Jones. Oh, Hawkinson's out. How did I miss that? It's my bad, guys. Let's see here. Sony, Mike Evans, or Jeff Wilson? I'd probably go Mike Evans. Bucks at home, really high total. Sony is, of course, the lead back this week, but I'd still go Evans. PPR too, which helps. Does Hawkinson have COVID, guys? Is that why I missed him? Oh, I didn't even mention Amon Ra. If Hawkinson's out, then yeah, I could play Amon Ra. It's a tough matchup though, defensively, yeah. Yeah, Kenny and Sterling Shepard will be back. That'll be tough for any of those wide receivers to be productive. All right. Anything else, folks, before I hop off here? Guys, if you're not already, please subscribe, drop a like on the video. Would really, really appreciate it if you did. Let the boss know that I should be doing this every morning. That would be great. I would say Sony over neither of those guys. The chosen rows. You gotta fire Patterson and Zeke. Zeke's by himself now in the offense. That's very good for him. Melvin Gordon, Mike Gallup, or Mike Williams? Definitely Mike Williams, Chris. Definitely Mike Williams. MVS, Gage, or Judy? I definitely wouldn't play Gage, but it would depend on if you're in a spot where you really need, you're in a spot where you think you're going to win this week. You don't need like a really big time high upside play. I'd play Judy, but if you need to like shoot for the stars, you need a 20-point game from this guy and you're probably your flex or whatever your wide receiver 2 spot with that, then I'd go MVS. Yeah, Zeke over Clyde. Yep. Darnell Mooney, Jarvis Landry, or Kareem Hunt? I'd go Hunt. Yeah, I think the Browns find some success at home. Everett or Ricky Seals Jones? I would go Ricky Seals Jones. Everett's got some good volume from Wilson since he's been back, but should be a pretty easy game for the Seahawks where they put the ball on the ground a fair bit. Gallup or Melvin Gordon? I would play Gallup. Yeah, I would go Gallup. Jamar Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Rashad Penny? I like Penny in that scenario. Yeah, I like Penny. You know I cannot believe that AP got another job and went there. He looked so bad when he was playing with the Titans. Oh my God, it's hard to make Deonta Foreman look really good. I love Deonta Foreman coming out of Texas in the draft years ago, but I mean when you tear your Achilles, it's tough to come back as a running back, and he made Deonta Foreman look very good. All right. That is it for the live stream today. Thank you guys for jumping in. Drop a like, please. Would really, really appreciate it. Please drop a like if you're watching this right now. I need a like. I need you to subscribe. We'll be doing some more playoff stuff, like dropping even in the comments of the actual video what kind of videos you guys want to see for the playoffs too. All right. See you guys.